Well, being 6 practices in, I think the players have done a really good job in getting themselves in a position, uh, to improve from where we left off in the spring. I think you can definitely see us playing at a better speed, better understanding of what we're trying to do in each particular defense. So I think just overall they have a much better idea of what we're trying to get accomplished, and then being able to execute better. So overall, players have been, very good, and we've been very pleased with the progress we've made. We have a long way to go, but really pleased with the first week of camp. Just their attitude, their effort, their willingness to compete, their willingness to learn. I think that says a lot about their character, of who they are as players. So that's, those are great starting points. Now we have to fine tune what we're doing. We have to be able to execute at a higher level, and just by doing things repetitively, you gain confidence, and I think we're gaining that with our first group, and have to keep trying to develop it throughout the rest of our team.
Like, throughout the country, we've seen a lot of teams go with multiple defensive backs, and wanting to have set defensive backs who can constantly make the impact. Is there a number that you're looking for, of guys that you want to have that's impactful defensive backs when the season starts?
Well, I think the key for us is to be as multiple as we can with the players that we have. And then I think you try to get your best players on the field, and then you try to maneuver your defense to put them in position to make plays. I think we all have a system that we like to use, and we're building a system here in this program, and the players are, we have players that can do multiple things, but ultimately we'll try to get our best players on the field in any particular situation. But we've used anywhere from 4, 5, 6 DBs in any one particular situation, based on the amount of receivers that they have on the field, and certainly based on how we feel about our players.
Has there been a particular position group that has impressed you the most through the first week of camp?
I think we're getting Kiki back. I think we're developing some depth at linebacker. It's hard to say the first group. I think across the board has been pretty good. The secondary's been good. I think the group of safeties we have, I think are pretty reliable guys that know how to play the game. So we have some experience. I think you see the experience in some of those positions. Chris Jones, another guy that's really improved and gotten bigger and stronger. So again, we're trying to develop depth across the team right now, and especially defensively, defensive line wise. We'd like to play a lot of players, but I think all the groups have made significant improvements.
And then with COVID-19 kind of making some of these guys return and have an extra year of eligibility, how has that made this year a bit different than all the other years you've been around, with a bunch of extra guys around and having more depth to work with?
I think it helps. It helps in practice. I think it helps keep the players fresh. Having the extra numbers, I think, helps your team as a whole. I'm not sure what our exact total is, but we would be somewhere probably around 92, 93 scholarship players, which is, it is unusual to have that many. So you want to be able to make sure we can use that depth to our advantage, special team wise, in all positions. So hopefully it helps you develop some depth in your special teams as well, where we don't have to play our starters as much on special teams.
Piggybacking off that, the cornerback room is one that returns both of its starters, Zion and Smoke. How important is that for you to have, two cornerbacks who played a ton of snaps last year?
Well, they're both, talented players, and Deshaun Moss has done a really good job. He's pushing the smoke over there at the other corner. So, um, you know, Zion is a guy that I think has, a lot of upside. I think he's a talented player, very athletic, very gifted. He's becoming more comfortable with the position. Hasn't played it that long, so he continues to develop. But to be able to press and make people uncomfortable at the line of scrimmage, if you want to press a lot, you have to be good up there. So, working our techniques at the line of scrimmage, I think they've all improved at the line of scrimmage, and then being able to play a lot of our zone concepts. So they've made a lot of strides in starting to understand what we want to do defensively. But there's some talented kids in that group. We want to get bigger and stronger out there on the perimeter, and we've gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. So we just got to keep pushing them.
For the position battles, is there a certain amount of time that you want to let those kind of go before you start to maybe hammer down a few of those positions and turn that focus over to fullback?
Yeah, I think after you come out of the first scrimmage, you would like to know. I think we have an idea, but I'm sure there'll be one or two guys that jump out there, in the scrimmage that, that maybe we would have thought weren't going to be able to help us, that might be able to help us. So you're continually evaluating all your players. That's the one thing in camp. You're always looking at players, seeing how they're doing, seeing how they're reacting to each situation. And that's what you have to do, and that's kind of what camp is for. But once we come out of this next scrimmage, we'll have a pretty good idea, the guys we're going to run with. But, barring injuries, and that's why you never know who's going to go down, and you got to have depth. So we continually, like I said earlier, trying to build some depth.
Anybody else?
All right.
I think camp has been good for us. I think we're making progress. We're installing a lot. So we're kind of got a heavy load right now. So they're kind of thinking a little bit, but they're starting to push through it and come out the back end. I think the expectations for the next couple of weeks is that we just continue to improve and in the base things that we do, and just continue to get better fundamentally. We're still in the first week of camp, so we're still repping a lot of players. We're still installing a lot of different concepts and things, so we're still working through it, and then eventually we'll scale back. But I think in the next week or so, we're just going to continue to push forward and try to get better as an offense.
Michael, I'll ask the same question to you that I asked Mike to end it with. With all the position battles on the offensive side, especially the quarterback position and offensive line, is there a certain amount of time you want to let those go before you start to maybe hammer down some of those starters and turn that focus over to quarterback?
Well, there'll be a point in time where we'll have to do that, where we'll have to make some decisions and kind of narrow the reps back and get the people that we're going to try to play in the Florida game and get them ready. But that's something that Coach Taggart and I will sit down and talk about, and when that time comes, I think we'll push forward and start going that way. But right now, I think it's first part of training camp. It's early, and we're still trying to get a lot of players a lot of reps.
During practice, I've noticed that Javion Posey's been lining up at quarterback, wide receiver, even had some handoffs at some point. How do you plan on utilizing him this year?
We're not going to talk about position.
We're not talking. That's something that
okay.
I'm not going to talk about scheme. Not going to talk about how we're going to utilize players. But I just know he's a good player, and we're just trying to figure out a lot of different things with him. But he's a quarterback for us, and he's doing some things, and we're just trying to get him better fundamentally and technically.
Who has impressed most at the quarterback position so far in the first week?
It's hard to say because we're giving them equal reps. So we're giving them equal reps. We're changing the rotation each day. So, each quarterback flashes here and there depending on what we're asking them to do and what group they're playing with. And we're just trying to get better as an offensive unit. So we're really not worried about any of that right now. We're just trying to execute our base plays and give everybody equal opportunities to help this football team.
Kosi entered the competition, because Nick and Michael all those guys got that spring practice and they got the ability to learn the playbook a little bit. Is there almost a sense of he's almost starting at a little bit of a disadvantage going into camp, not having that spring camp with you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't have a spring, but he's worked hard in the summer. He's coming in each day. He's tried to get as prepared as he can without having those reps in the summer. But he's worked hard, and he's kind of caught up, and he's almost up to speed now. So he's been doing a good job, and he's studied and prepared, and he's going to have equal opportunity to play like the rest of them.
We talked a lot about in the spring about getting the playmakers the ball, getting that athleticism, in positions to make the big plays. How important is that actually going to be for you guys in this, fall game to get those guys the ball and get their conditioning up for those big games?
Well, I mean, that's what you do as an offense. As an offense, you try to put your players in the best place to help your team succeed. But that's what training camp's for. Training camp is to allow them to do a lot of different things to figure out what they do well. And once you figure out what they do well, as you start game planning toward the season, then you implement those things and you figure those things out. But right now in training camp, they're doing a lot of different things and not necessarily tailored to what they individually do well on a given play. So we're allowing them to do a lot of different things.
And how about the running back room? I've seen there's a lot of guys getting reps. I've noticed Raekwon Berry is one of the guys who's been getting a lot of reps. What do you got to say about the depth of that running back room?
Well, we do have a lot of running backs. And like I said earlier, everybody is getting reps. That's why you see Raekwon Berry, you see a lot of other different players at other positions getting reps. It's early in training camp. So that's what this is for. It's to implement your offense, your entire offense, and allow a lot of different players to do a lot of different things. And then as you get closer to your first game, then you scale back and then you put those players in positions to help your team win that first game against Florida. But right now it's too early to do that. So we're just running through training camp, running through our base plays, and allowing a lot of people to do a lot of different things.
Anybody else?
Camp's been pretty fun so far. Good to get back out here and play football with the guys. Worked hard all summer as far as conditioning, lifting. Now it's back to football and doing what we love. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm excited.
Michael, the spring was probably a weird time for the quarterback competition because you probably don't see much of it. No one really elevates themselves. How quickly do you want to really try and elevate yourself above the other guys on this path?
Definitely I've been trying to elevate myself since I got here, really. Obviously I can't control what Coach Tag or what anyone decides to do as far as who plays. All I can do is put my best foot forward, and I can control my effort. All I can do is control what I can control, and that's what I think I've been doing so far. So I'm just gonna keep doing that, and wherever the chips fall, that's where it is.
Has having your dad here helped you acclimate to FAU more, or how has that been, having your dad here as a coach?
It hasn't really been any different, any other than just having a normal coach. He coaches me just like he coaches everyone else. It's just been the same as I've had an OC or a QB coach anywhere else. It's been the exact same. It hasn't really been anything different or any I should say advantage or a disadvantage or anything like that. It's just been him being my coach, and when he's here, he's my coach. And, I see him off campus or whatever. He's my father, so we still have both a coach-player relationship, and also we still have a father-son relationship. So that's been fun.
What was the focus for you, in the summer, to try and get better, trying to elevate your game for the summer?
I say one, just trying to be a better leader, be more vocal. When I first got here, I didn't really know many people. Many people didn't know me, so I didn't want to come in and just start, talking to everyone, telling them what to do and stuff like that. So I thought I would just try to show that I'm a hard worker and lead by example at first. And this summer I tried to become more vocal, and also just overall just get a better grasp of the offense. I put a lot of hours in the summer with coaching and just meetings and things like that, just trying to get a great grasp of the offense. And I think I've done that. So there's not many mental errors so far in camp.
Michael, what are the differences from the quarterback competition from here and from when you were at
different, I'd say. I'd say it's different for me because at Penn State I was a young guy. I mean, I'm still kind of a young guy, but at Penn State I was a freshman going in. There was a lot to learn, and at that point I didn't really know what to expect. Like that was my first camp, first time being in a college system, so I was kind of just learning day by day. Here, like I've been through it, I know what to expect. It's not my first go around, so I know how to go about things, how to prepare a lot better than I did when I was there.
Anyone else? All right.
All right, thank you.
And maybe some expectations in the coming weeks?
So far, camp has been going good. Started really good. I think the team and the offense is picking up on the offense that we were putting in really well, and I'm excited for the season.
And Coach, last season, you didn't really get to play much with the Air. Then, you go to that bowl game against Oklahoma State, and you have to play almost an entire half. You rolled up how important was that for you to get that point in time late in that season and the bowl game this spring camp?
It was very important. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting to get in that game, but I feel like it was a blessing in disguise that I did, and I tried to make the best of it, and I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to play.
How do you feel like your skill set fits this particular offense?
I think it fits really well. The offense we run, I feel, is a mix of everything, and I've been playing football for a long time now, and I've done a mix of everything in the years, so I feel like I fit in it perfectly.
Coming in late as a transfer, how has it been harder to kind of get acclimated to the offense, and have you had any issues with that?
I haven't been having issues. It's not easy coming in late and trying to build chemistry with the team, learn the offense, but like I said, I've played a lot of football and I'm familiar with the offense here, so with me being familiar with it, it's not too hard to pick up on.
What's been different between the quarterback competition here and when you were at Miami?
It's not that much different, honestly. It's football. It's quarterbacks competing for one spot. Only one quarterback can play at a time, and until they announce a starter, we all compete for that spot. So it's pretty much the same to me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys been going on pretty well. Had first couple of days there were a few rain delays, lightning delays, but it's been a lot of competition. Offense has looked good, defense has looked good, and it's really about all there every single rep. Offense does a lot of things that makes it complicated for us, so having to react to that has been tough, but the guys are picking it up pretty well.
Jordan, the defense and the secondary especially returned a lot of its production from last season. How important is that when being solid for new defense to have that experience under that?
Yeah, it's huge. For pretty much every guy here, we've had a new defensive coordinator every single year. Me personally, this is my sixth defensive coordinator in 6 years. So learning a playbook, a new playbook, is really not that difficult. And the guys on defense are very intelligent, very smart, so they're picking it up well.
Coach Stoops, he's a veteran coach. He's been a head coach. What would you describe his style of defense as?
Coach Stoops' style, he's a really funny guy, but on the field, he's really in your face. He coaches you hard. He wants you to be great, and that's what we need. I'd rather have a coach that's intense most of the time than a coach that's lackadaisical, because he's pushing us to be our best.
All right. Thank you.
Brings you to a quarterback competition. How important is that for you to have that experience in a competition, in spring camp, right before the season starts?
It's important. Like you said, I'm no stranger to it. I think other than 1 year, I think I've been in the quarterback battle every single year I've been in college. I think the biggest thing is to just not really see it as a competition. Like, at the end of the day, the best player is going to play. And, my goal is to just go out and try and get our football team ready to play and try and work on what I can control. And, like I said, at the end of the day, the best player is going to play. And whatever you think about or however you approach a quarterback competition, that's what's going to happen. So.
With the addition of Nicosi Perry and MJ, how different does this quarterback competition feel compared to last year?
It doesn't feel any different. I approach every day the same way. Like I'm there to get myself better on there and get a football team ready to play. It doesn't make a difference who's in the room with me.
What adjustments has the offense been making to improve this year?
I'd say just kind of being more detailed on certain things. I mean, with COVID last year, we didn't have a spring. We didn't really have a ton of time in summer workouts to learn the offense or anything, so I think it's kind of hard to get a month to learn an entire new offense with a whole new coaching staff. And I think this year just being more detailed, understanding the offense, the details of every play.
What would you like to do better personally, based on your experiences from last year?
I mean, probably just understanding the offense more. Like I said, it was just tough last year not having the time and just understanding the game more. Physically, I feel like I can do everything that's asked. I think it's all mental from here on out. Just understanding, why Coach Taggart's calling a certain play or why Coach Johnson's calling a certain play, and just being able to really understand the mental side of the game.
Okay?
Yep.
I feel like camp is going well. There's a lot of things that you have to correct, a lot of things that we have to fix on a daily basis, but overall, I feel like offense and defense and special teams are going well in camp.
Your expectations coming out of it?
I feel like, we all expect to win, so you just got to win your battle every day. So that's our expectation, to not just have a setback every day. We should build up and build up and build up every day.
Nice.
TJ, you and Jordan Helm have a ton of experience back there. With another defense having been so, how important for you two to have that experience in that defensive back position?
Well, it's greatly important just because of our position. So just like for the quarterbacks on offense, we have to make everything go on defense. So the experience goes a long way when it comes to playing safety.
There's almost an added sense of chemistry between you two and the cornerbacks, knowing that last week you got a ton of playing time together.
Yeah, so that's also a good thing as well, to know I don't have to worry about if my corner's going to get depth in his drop, or not having to worry about is he going to make the right read backside. So the chemistry between the DBs is very essential.
Jordan mentioned that he's had 6 different coordinators in 6 years. It's half that for you, but at this point, is it not a big deal to learn a new scheme?
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. What's really different between coaches is their philosophy. Football is football at the end of the day, but every coach has a different mindset.
What would you say Coach Stoops' mindset is?
Coach Stoops is a very aggressive but a passionate coach. He's very aggressive in what he demands, and he's very aggressive with how we do things, but he's passionate behind it, and he's willing to step back and help us learn.